good morning, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have a wear test of this Miracle Second Skin Max Factor Foundation. I don't have a ton of time this morning. This is preschool run, but I've got some stuff to do this morning, so I want to put some makeup on before, so I can't come back and leisurely film a whole thing about this. So we're going to quickly apply it. It's going to be a snappier video today. So it says, for healthy looking and visibly perfected skin. I don't know how visibly protected would have to be like a mask. Formula is clinically proven to support skin renewal, infused with pre/probiotics to help skin's natural defenses, naturally derived coconut milk for all-day moisturization, and it's a hybrid foundation. Hydrate, protect, and renew. I don't know what to expect, honestly. I haven't seen any videos or anything about this. I'm going to go straight in with my hands. Here is my skin. Let's turn down this light a little bit so you can actually see what we're working with, and ooh. I am applying it in a weird way because I wouldn't have gone in with this hand on this side of my face, but here we go. It's not as it's drier than I thought it would be. It's not as hydrating as I thought it would be initially. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's a nice coverage for me. This is kind of what I like. Something you can still see the skin through it, but it does look perfected. And just a nicer skin rather than like a mask. And I'm going to do the rest of my face and come back. I'm definitely seeing it gather kind of around here in certain dry areas. It's not giving me quite the finish that I thought it would. I'm going to go in for a second layer because I feel like maybe that might make a difference, but also I want to see whether or not it's buildable. This is not building well. Can you see up here? I'm going to have to take this off and start again. Okay, so a little bit of background. I went in over this SPF, which is not a particularly hydrating SPF. I've got the tinted version of this. This is the non-tinted version, and it's basically, it's good for oily skin and doesn't really give a much of anything. So this time I'm going to put on the Nivea Sun Anti-Age and Anti-Pigment because this has got a little bit more of like a moisturizery feel. And if I don't feel like it's doing enough, then I'm gonna put on another layer of moisturizer as well. I don't like a ton of stuff on my skin because it tends to kind of pill up and not work well together, but I think that this particular product does need something underneath it. I think where I went wrong was seeing this as a hydrating, I mean, looking at this, I thought it was going to be kind of tinted moisturizer, BB cream kind of thing in texture, and it's just not. I mean, even as I'm putting it on my skin, there's like a grittiness. I swear that's coming out of the tube. I don't even know what is going on. Can you see the texture on my fingers? That's like just immediate. Right, I just went to check it out in the bathroom mirror just to double check. And it actually looks quite nice this time. It went on a lot nicer, applying more straight off the bat. So kind of, it can't be something that you use sparingly. You need to use a decent amount of the product and put it all over your face, which sounds stupid, but you know, with certain foundations, you can use a small amount and blend it out. You can get a lighter coverage. You kind of manipulate the thing. You need quite a lot of this, I think. And it went over a more hydrating base that time. So it's nice. It's got kind of like a tacky feel, but it feels like maybe it's going to set. I'm going to put on the Radiant Lift Concealer from Max Factor. By the way, I got shade 03 Light in this foundation. I thought it was going to be really, really deep. And the concealer is 02 Light. But I think the concealer is an all right match, which is strange. To get a little bit further away so that it doesn't kind of blow it all out with the lights. But I quite like this. Now, when I come to actually look at it in the daylight when I get in the car in a second, we'll see. I'm not going to powder because I'm erring on the side of no powder right now. Anyway, it definitely isn't what I thought it was going to be. It's not kind of that kind of tinted moisturizer BB cream, very, very liquidy, fluid thing that it doesn't feel like a moisturizer when you're putting it on. It definitely feels like a heavier foundation. And I feel like it's going to set. So, I mean, we'll see. It doesn't feel as tacky now. A little, but it doesn't, maybe it does. But I like that it's kind of giving me this luminous glow. I think that it's a nice finish. But we'll take a look in a second. I've got to take the kids to school. I'll bring my camera along and we'll have a look in real daylight, because sometimes that's the true test. Right, I'm out in the world. What do we think? Let's zoom you in. I'm gonna get you in like full sunlight in a second as well, because that is the least forgiving of all of the lights. In the mirror, like sometimes I will do these and I'm like, in the mirror, I really, really like it. And then I come to edit and I'm like, ooh, that close up, now I can actually see it on my computer screen. It's not great. But in the mirror, I'm really enjoying this. I think it's a really nice, natural looking foundation. I like the finish. It is kind of settling in certain areas, but I also feel like it has set. There's no powder, there's nothing else on this. And I feel like it's set quite nicely. Let me just kind of get you in the actual sunlight so you can see the texture. I don't know, again, I can't see this properly because, number one, super bright, but also tiny screen. I think it's quite nice, you know. It's been 7 hours. I've got to go back and get the kids from school in a second. I was filming some things, doing various bits in the house, and I just noticed that if I had to kind of like smudge it back because I had to film something, but if I kind of move or like slightly nudge my face, it was like moving the foundation. Also, I feel super oily today. Like I said at the beginning, I didn't powder this, but I feel very oily. I can feel the foundation around here. It feels heavy. Okay, so let's wait a second for that to adjust. Can't give you a full review because it's one day. But in this one day, I feel like I've learned a lot about this. So number one, you really do need your skincare underneath this. It's not something that's going to work like a tinted moisturizer or like a BB cream as a whack it on your face. You need to prep your skin. I do think that applying it with your fingertips is going to be the best possible blend. I know not everybody's into that. You know, you do you. I think you've really got to kind of like work it into the skin. When I was talking about the foundation kind of smearing off my face, I think really what it was is it kind of had almost gathered together. There was kind of like a stripe of foundation here. So it wasn't, it had shifted. It wasn't that I'd wiped it away, but it had kind of all moved. Speaking of gathered, it hasn't really done anything, you know, like around my nose, on my chin, the regular places where the dryness tends to be accentuated throughout the day. None of that. It still looks very, very skin-like. And I think it's quite flattering, you know. It is very dewy, which is not necessarily for you if you are very oily. As I'm getting older, I'm cool with that. I kind of am leaning into the oil. I think it's youthful. I think it's something that people are trying to manufacture, like a dewy glow. And so why not just work with what you've got? Which is why I'm kind of avoiding powder for now. But it's not going to be for everyone. That said, if you've got very, very dry skin, I think it really, really is still super important that you go in with a rich moisturiser and hydrate before using this, because although it is hydrating in theory, I didn't find it to be upon first application. I definitely needed that moisturiser underneath. So in terms of longevity, I think it's worn okay. It hasn't worn in an unattractive way. I definitely feel like I've lost coverage here. But it's not that much coverage to begin with, so I'm kind of surprised you can even tell. It is just kind of an evening out of everything. You can still see your skin through it, which is definitely what I'm into. And even when I've kind of lost the coverage, I don't think it's too terrible. I mean, maybe you disagree. Anyway, it feels so late. I'm seriously ready for bed. I've been up since the crack of dawn. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. And I will be back with another Friday Faves and Fails on Friday. And if you want to hear more about this, make sure you do stick around, because I'll probably be updating you over the next few weeks on how I'm feeling about it as I wear it more.